Wisconsin's got a new offensive coordinator in Bobby Engram. He is the former tight ends coach for the Baltimore Ravens. His son, Dean, is coming off his sophomore season with the Badgers, seeing action in 5 games, playing cornerback and having 20 tackles with an interception. Bobby played with the Chicago Bears, Seattle Seahawks, Kansas City Chiefs during his NFL career from 1996 to 2009, catching 650 passes for 7,751 yards and 35 touchdowns. He worked with Paul Chryst as the wide receiver coach at Pittsburgh in 2012 and 2013. And one of his former players, he originally with the Baltimore Ravens, he was a wide receivers coach for them and coached up Steve Smith Sr. during his final year in the NFL. And Smith spoke on him saying, Bobby Engram used to be my wide receiver coach down there, and he moved to tight ends. What's the best part of that team right now? The tight ends. So Engram, a very impressive hire, brings in a smart-minded offensive coordinator. Andrew, what's your opinion on him as the new Wisconsin coordinator?
It's always hard to know exactly how someone is going to translate between the NFL and the college world going in either direction. But no matter what, Mark Andrews did not go into this season as a top 3 tight end, and coming out, in the playoff, now that we've gone through the playoffs pretty much, we can see that he has been a top 3 tight end in the league. So any coach that is able to help elevate players like that, in theory, can do it both ways in both games. So it should be something that Badger fans are excited to see, but he will be under a lot of scrutiny these first few years, as the Badgers have seen their offense struggle while their defense thrives.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see whether Chris lets Bobby get full reign of the offense and how he is able to work back and forth. Once Rudolph left for Virginia, there were a lot of questions of whether Chris was going to bring in someone he didn't have experience with, or if he was going to bring in a trusted advisor. He brought in someone he's worked with in the past, who speaks very highly of Chris as well. Engram, though, has worked with a quarterback in Lamar Jackson. We'll probably hope to get a little more mobility from the quarterback in their offense and help modernize the Badger offense while holding on to that pro-style side of it as well. I really like the hire. From what I was reading, Penn State fans really wanted to hire him to their staff throughout the time over the past few years. So for the Badgers to land someone as highly regarded as Bobby Engram is an exciting thing for Badger fans, and hopefully will change the offense going forward, as it has struggled and it's been painful to watch. Like you said, the defense has been stout. We had arguably the best defense last year, if not one of the top 2, depending on how you view Badgers defense versus Georgia. Georgia did win the national title, but statistically the Badgers were right there with Georgia, and those 2 schools were on their own level. Now imagine if the Badgers can put together an offense along with that stout defense. Jim Leonard's most likely returning. I know he's probably going to interview for some NFL jobs, but he seems like he wants to bring a national title to Wisconsin before he ever considers leaving. And Paul Chryst also had a year added onto his contract, so he got extended as well. It's going to be a very interesting season for the Badgers, especially with Mertz. Will Mertz be able to take the jump with Bobby coaching him up? One of the things was last year, Mertz took a step back, and Paul Chryst was not only serving as the offensive coordinator, he was the head coach, and he was coaching up the quarterbacks. And that's one of the reasons Mertz might have taken a step back, is Chryst was just doing way too much and not being able to focus on really working with the quarterbacks. So having an offensive coordinator who probably should be calling the plays, taking that off Chryst's plate, could help the Badger offense as well going forward. Andrew, do you have any other thoughts to share on this topic?
I think you wrapped it up pretty well. It'll definitely be interesting to see how the Badgers move forward.